Hi, my name is Coffee Iman, and I am from Coffee Magazine. Coffee Magazine is a lifestyle magazine, and we like to interview those that are very influential in every industry. So today we have Miss Dora Whitley. And can you tell our readers and our listeners a little bit about yourself to start off with?
Yeah, my name is Dora Whitley. I'm the principal of the Whitley Agency alongside of my life partner, Mike Whitley. I am originally from West Africa, Cameroon, so French is my native language. And I've been in entertainment now for close to 20 years. And it's been a great journey. So I look forward to speaking to you all today about all the great things that are happening in my world.
Okay. Well, I've read that you started off though your career in sports science.
Mhm.
So, how did you shift your vision to going from sports science to entertainment?
You're right. So my vision and career path while at the University of North Carolina, Greensboro was exactly in just that, exercise and sports science with a minor in biology. I love sports. I loved entertainment. So I figured, hey, why not kind of let both worlds meet and go for a doctor, an MD, a medical degree. It's in sports medicine and still be able to do what I love and being around, which was sports and entertainment at the time. And so I knew once I graduated, I would follow like a non-traditional route, which was going through a post-bac program. That was a 2-year program to get me on track for medical school. And, I found myself, day by day, I was in my books, I was in the labs, and in the evenings, I was out. I was out in the nightlife, nightlife and entertainment scene. And, I saw an early path in entertainment, but just needed to figure out kind of that segue from science right into that field. And so I decided to go into business banking, and I was fortunate enough to start and kick things off working with Kenny Rogers, the late Kenny Rogers. And that
Oh,
was really what birthed my interest, while we were handling his transactions and his business, in banking. We also talked about just life and entertainment and the scope of entertainment and the scale of entertainment, and kind of the relationship ascended from there. And so that's really where my eyes, I would say, were open. My lens, was open into that broader spectrum of entertainment and
mhm.
piqued my curiosity, and the rest was really history and figuring out kind of what that pathway would be.
So okay, we went three routes now. We went from the sports science to the banking and to the management. And so you enjoy entertainment. What's like your favorite realm of entertainment? Like, is it the music part? Is it the film side? What is the best part, your favorite part right now?
So I wouldn't call it necessarily a best because I love just entertainment, right? I just love the industry. I love the field. In terms of the best, there's nothing like obviously going on tours, right? And being backstage and being on that high, and your talent is coming out and you're hearing the audience reaction. You get, this kind of sugar rush, right? Going through your body. So that's one side of it. But the other side of it is kind of being behind the scene, which is where I find a lot of my better strength is more utilized in, which is more in the business, managers, business management side of entertainment. And that's kind of, I would say, are my best days. I find this is my passion. I love helping others. So this
Okay.
has kind of been what's natural for me. Okay.
So how did that previous experience prepare you to begin the Whitley agency?
I think there's nothing like having practical experience, right? Because a lot, as studies have shown, a lot of people go to college, they major in fields that they sometimes don't end up working in, right? The majority of students, we accumulate all this knowledge. And I think that for me, my prior experience allowed me, because I was at the VP level, right? Even when I was in business banking.
Mhm.
And so a lot of that experience prepared me to not just be a great leader, but a great teacher as well as a continuous learner. So I'm always challenging myself and learning and reading extensively to see what's innovating, what's ahead of the field, what's coming out, what digital products are coming out, so that my talent stays ahead of the competition. And so I think year over year, I've been focused with just what I've done naturally, which is just assess my personal and professional growth. And that really has helped me, transition and ascend up in the field that I'm in right now.
And so how much do you enjoy? Because you love entertainment. Now you have your own agency. So what is the feeling behind that? And you're female. So what is the feeling behind running something that has so many influential artists or people depending on it?
The feeling is rewarding. The feeling can be stressful. You find yourself, although you say, "Hey, I'm someone's business manager, I'm someone's talent manager," you really wear a lot of hats. I'm a people person. I love people. My clients become family to me. They're more than just a transactional relationship. And so you find yourself sometimes being the psychologist, the medical doctor, the lawyer sometimes.
Okay, so you have enough background there.
Yeah, yeah. So you find yourself kind of intertwining in all these sectors and these corners, just again for their protection.
Okay.
You're essentially a gatekeeper to every and anything that deals with their brain and their livelihood, and it's a huge responsibility. But I think that over the years I've again learned from mistakes and I've tweaked them and kind of ascended from that point. And I think that's what's important, continuously challenging yourself, making decisions, standing firm in your decision, and progressing from that point.
Okay. It sounds exciting to me. So what was I've also read that you wanted to later expand into film and to television. So what does that look like for you?
I think for me, it's just investments. My life partner and I are very intentional now in reading scripts and original film and TV projects that are aligned with just telling stories that would say that impact our people, that impact our community, and advance our community. There's so much rubbish, excuse my French, on television right now. You're seeing a shift happen, but I think more of our stories can be told, but that bridge the gap right between Africa and the US. And I think for us, it's just really about moving that needle forward and doing our part in telling those narratives, even, and bridging that gap. And then on the educational side, creating programs, right, that allow us, meaning my life partner and I, to go to Africa and implement these programs to kind of teach them what's happening on the Western side of the world, and advancing, those aspiring film and TV makers to say, hey, you have access to these same tools. Here's the educational process. You can self-start, you can learn at your own pace and still feel like you're at the level of someone coming out of the US, and take that education and impact your community that you're immediately in.
Have you been cross educating what you have so far now, even with the talent management?
Well, this is a completely separate arm, right?
Okay.
So yeah, so that one's running through Whitley Ventures. It's a completely separate arm, so we form cross partnerships with entities who specialize in having this back end forum for development of talent across all sectors, whether it's producing and so forth. And so we work with them to really implement and penetrate these markets.
Now your route was a little different, but how would you suggest someone starts if they wanted to be in the industry that you're in now?
I think doing research, there's so many people that specialize in different areas of entertainment. As you say, it's so broad. So I think doing research and knowing what will be the best character match for you, right? So it's one thing to read someone's resume and it has all of these accolades, right? But you want to choose someone who has sound business experience because sometimes the experience will outweigh, right?
Yeah.
the other aspects of it and make sure that it's industry specific to what you're going into and beyond. I always say don't put all your wood and light all your wood in one fire. You want to make sure that you have a diverse palette. Whoever you're working with or whoever you're speaking with has a diverse palette of experience, of relationships that can think outside of the box and really work diligently on your behalf, to assist you in attaining those goals.
Now, doing all this and adding more to your plate, how do you make time for you and your life partner to enjoy life? Period.
So the early part of my life, of my career, I would say, I wouldn't have been able to answer this question.
Okay.
Dora today is intentional about a Monday through Thursday schedule.
Okay.
Dora today is intentional about Friday through Sunday self-care and family time, right?
Okay.
Because when you work for yourself, it's like sometimes 80, 120 hours because you're constantly
Yeah.
working, developing, innovating, and ideating. And so today I'm very, very intentional about setting those boundaries, setting structure, setting order, not just professionally, but also personally. And I found that, over time, that if that's not in place, you'll give too much of yourself, right? In areas that are external and less internal to you. And I think that's essential overall to maintain your peace, to maintain your sanity, and overall to just maintain great mental health. So I think those are the key things, is boundary, structure, and order in those areas.
So family, love, and business is possible.
It's absolutely possible. I've been doing it for a while now. It's absolutely possible.
Great, because you hear so many discouraging stories, and it's like, how is this possible? Like everybody has to put it the same amount of work in, even from each partner to the next. So, it's
Absolutely.
glad that you're giving us encouragement that this will one day happen.
Absolutely, coffee. Absolutely.
Okay, so
For
we
sure.
have everything. I mean, you have a long list of things that are going on, and you speak how many languages? Like, I was blown away by this.
So native language is French.
Okay.
English is my second language, and I know Spanish obviously because my parents didn't allow me to say French because I already spoke French. So
Right.
by default, I speak Spanish as well.
Now, do you plan to use this in business as making more than just culture stories about ourselves, or
Oh, no, I use it now.
okay?
I use it now. My husband is working on the Escobar documentary, so I'm having myself, sometimes he's having language barriers and I'm translating in Spanish, to him what's happening and what needs to happen.
You
So
just don't get a break, do you?
I absolutely use it.
So were you pressured by your parents? Because I've seen they have very prestigious jobs as well. And a lot of times our parents say, oh, this sounds a little bit too creative. Maybe this should be a hobby and not a career. So was there a lot of pressure and pushback on you going into the talent industry?
What is talent? What is
Right.
talent? What is that going to do for your future? Okay. So coming from Cameroon, West Africa, for us, I say us as in my siblings and I, just my immediate family, even my cousins, but for us, math and science were just the foundation of our childhood. Parents pushed us to be great in those key areas. And I wouldn't necessarily call it pressure because you got acclimated to it really fast. You had no choice.
Right, right.
They were really, really strict when it came to our schoolwork and our grades. But I will say one thing: they encourage us to pursue careers in those fields, which for me led to the foundation of what I do today. Right.
Got
So
it.
even being a business manager, being a talent manager, I utilize those core foundational learnings, right, and applying what I do even till today. And so, those skill sets when it comes to mathematics and so forth are no one can take that knowledge from you, and this has become today one of our core business verticals when it comes to business management, right? This is one of our key drivers for our business. And so I'm very, thankful to them for that. Then, when you're young, you don't understand. They're like,
No, no, no.
you go into talent management. What is that? Well, keep the talent in these books. Yeah.
Right, right. It's very hard because they're used to the traditional grind of work. And so
Yeah,
they're thinking of like pension plan and they're thinking
all of
of
that.
they're thinking of everything that seems dry and boring to us. But we take those hard classes and we say, hey, we do this part for you, and then we're gonna just pivot over here. So the pivot is possible,
It's absolutely
everybody. And
it's absolutely,
she has proven that family and business is possible as well.
yes, absolutely.
And so do you have any projects that's close to this year being completed that are in your, like, far as your film and stuff made, or is that something in the future for your brand?
No, it's definitely in the near future. I can't discuss it just now,
Okay.
obviously. I think one of the projects that has rebirthed is the great Donnie Simpson Video Soul. The
Oh
reboot,
my
yeah,
God.
the reboot has been picked up by BET Plus. So I think that project is coming to TV and it's really to inspire the next generation of artists by classic, authentic
Yeah, I
personality.
miss it. I was just talking about that the other day. It's like, well, where am I supposed to find the new songs at? Like, where am I looking? And everybody's like, well, you can look on your phone, but what name am I putting in? Like, I don't even know
They're
who to
changing.
look
They're
for.
changing by the millisecond, right? Every time you turn around, a new one has popped up.
Yes, I don't even know
That's,
who to look for.
that's the time that we're in. But if you're looking for good classical stories and music and just kind of the history of how it's progressed, I'm really excited about what he's bringing back to television. He's a great, great, great act, and I'm glad that we were able to land a home that welcomes him. I do have another project in the works that I can't discuss now, but
Okay.
in the near future I'll be able to talk through it.
We will be waiting on that. I know you have a ton of things to do because you're doing a ton of things already. So thanks for hitting the pause button for these lovely 15 minutes to share your story with Coffee's listeners and their readers.
Thank you.
And is there one bit of advice that you can give someone? Because a lot of times you want to give advice to people that are coming right out of school, the 20-year-olds, but I don't want to say the age, but I'm at that pivot age where you've done what was supposed to be done. Now you're trying to do what you really enjoy doing. So what advice would you give somebody in that age gap that is trying to make that pivot into doing something that they love?
I think for me, it's all about metamorphosis, right? You're constantly changing, just personally and professionally. I think the main thing to remember is that the learning process never stops.
Okay.
That's no matter what industry you're going in. And I think don't ever sit comfortably in your chair. Sit at the end of your chair so that you never get too comfortable, right?
Okay.
And so by that, that means what? You're always going to be you always be looking for the next best opportunity, whether that's ascending within the career that you're in, or whether that's looking laterally to see where else you can go, but still put you on track with where your ultimate goals align. And I think that's the key advice that I would give. And there's so much out here between libraries and books and the internet, good internet, right? The good research
Right.
allows you to kind of do some self-learning, and then from there finding a great mentor who can kind of carve you in that lane, and kind of usher you in and guide you.
Okay. Well, thanks again. It was a pleasure. I appreciate it. I've learned a lot in these last 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you for having me. This was fun.
But thanks for motivating us and keeping us inspired. So can't wait to see what you have next. And thanks for joining us.
Likewise. Thank you so much, Coffee, for having me.
No problem.
All right. Take care.
You too.